Well, hi-ho, my peeps. You may actually be getting 2 uploads in one day. I've just videoed a piece that is political in nature, and I warned you guys that any of you who have seen that one already and or saw that I'd uploaded it, I cautioned don't watch it if politics triggers you. So that's just by way of explanation. Now, I told you guys that I wanted to start reading a novel to you that I've been working on. It is rough. It's going to have to be massaged as I fill it out. I'll probably go back and change some of what I'm going to be reading to you now. But what I'm trying to do is throw the ideas out on paper, and then I'll go back and I'll pay attention to syntax, spelling, grammar, mechanics, cadence, all of that stuff. But for right now, this is just right out of my head how this novel is developing, and I'm going to start at chapter 1. So, without further ado, here is chapter 1 of my as Untitled novel. Shakespeare wrote that some people are born to greatness, some achieve it, and others have it thrust upon them. Well, the same is true of magic. I wasn't born with it, and I never went looking for it, but it managed to sniff me out anyway, and thrust itself on me like an overzealous golden retriever intent on humping my leg. I tried to ignore it, then push it away. But that's the problem with destiny and leg-humping dogs. They never give up. This beautiful day in late May found me huddled over my checkbook, about to commit my most audacious act ever. My beloved, my soulmate Jason, had silently entered the room and stood in front of the French doors leading to our balcony, blocking the light. "I think we're done," Jason said quietly. "Done? With what?" I replied, eyes still cast down as I opened the checkbook and moved toward it with my pen. I'd been thrilled by our recent decision to buy our first home. Writing the $1,000 earnest money check and signing it today seemed like a good omen, appropriately because it was our 5th anniversary as a couple. I finally glanced at Jason, and his haunted expression sent a nasty little shiver down my spine. As I looked up into his eyes, I knew without him saying another word that my dream of our life together had just evaporated. Still, I had to go through the motions and poke at my fantasy of a happy future until I knew it was actually dead. "Jason," I asked in a cautious and measured tone, "what the actual hell are you saying?" "I'm saying that we're done, you and I. The house, the kids, all of it. I don't want it," he repeated. The quiet finality in his voice was crushing. He moved away from the glass doors. Clear morning light was streaming through the panes again and touched Jason with an angelic light, making a halo of his curly hair. I wanted to take his face in my hands and kiss him and tell him that he was just having jitters and that everything would be okay. That impulse fought with my sudden burning desire to push him through the doors and off the balcony. I sat at the blonde wood Parsons table Jason and I had found at a junk store and lovingly refinished, my pen still hovering over the signature line on my expectant checkbook, anticipating my scribbled name, which was destined never to be written. I didn't know whether to scream or cry or throw something heavy directly at his head. Jason had that disheveled but ever so cool look of a van life blogger. He was strictly a cargo pants and t-shirt kind of guy, with soft blue eyes and curly brown hair that was always a little bit too long. At 37, he was a year younger than me, and I sometimes teased him about his youthful appearance. You would never know by looking at him that he owned a small but very successful design and online marketing business. His couch surfing vibe belied a keen appetite for business and an MBA put to good use. While Jason is an idea guy and good with numbers, I am an artist, It's actually how Jason and I met. He hired me as a designer when his company was just a tiny startup. Sitting behind a computer designing ad graphics was never my idea of expressing myself through art, but I still had to pay the bills while I waited for my real work to start bearing financial fruit. I work in mixed media, and I had just gotten representation in a small Manhattan gallery. No sales yet, but at least I finally was on my way. He took a few steps to our dining table and sunk down in the chair across from me, eyes on the tabletop. He took a deep breath and began to talk. Babe, this has been coming for a while. I should have talked to you earlier before we made plans about buying the house. He took an unsteady breath and continued talking. We've been drifting away from each other, Sarah. I know you feel it too. He finally looked up. Jesus, Jason, everyone goes through this. It's normal. I could hear my voice climbing higher as panic set in. I took a deep breath and willed myself to calm down. Look, you've been working super hard, and so have I. It's easy to lose the focus of a relationship when we're both being pulled in so many different directions. I reached across the table and took his hands in mine. It's been a long, hard crawl, Jason, both for the business and my career, but things are finally settling down, and we can relax and enjoy the rewards of all our hard work. Don't you see that? He gently pulled his hands away from mine and folded them neatly on the table. Dropping his gaze to his hands, he quietly said, It's not just that, Sarah. Oh, crap. I guess I knew it was coming, but my mind just didn't want to face it. Raising his eyes again, he announced, It's Bunny. Well, I had to give him props for at least looking at me when he said it, but when he'd pulled his hands away, I instinctively already knew there was someone else. But Bunny, the company's 23-year-old receptionist? She was all fake tits and yoga body and about as interesting to converse with as a bucket of paste. Bunny? I could feel the sarcasm creeping into my voice already. You mean dumb Bunny, the queen of malapropisms. She's not that dumb when you get to know her, he retorted, sounding miffed. Honestly, Jason, she said she wanted to visit Italy and see the 16th chapel. He turned away and stared outside past the balcony, past our life together. She's pregnant. Pregnant? You just said that you didn't want kids. I didn't. It just happened. He was looking truly uncomfortable now. Okay, I get it. Now that your wandering dick has gotten you into trouble, you're going to move your new family into our house. Didn't want the picket fence until you got trapped by a pregnant side chick, right? By now I had made the transition from my anxious, high-pitched voice to full-on screaming banshee. Lower your voice, Sarah, he implored, looking even more miserable. Do you want the whole building to hear? Yeah, actually. I'd like all of Brooklyn to hear. I jumped up and threw the checkbook at him, then ran out to the balcony and bellowed, Hey, Brooklyn, my philandering boyfriend just knocked up his secretary, and they're moving into my dream house. Typical Brooklyn. Nobody cared enough to answer back. As I stood there hyperventilating, the tears finally started to come. No, I am not going to give him the satisfaction of seeing me cry. But I couldn't stop. Jason followed me out to the balcony and said that I should come inside. He took my arm gently and drew me back into the apartment, guiding me to the gray sectional sofa that dominated our small living room. He told me to sit down and then picked up the checkbook and placed it on the ancient wooden trunk that acted as our coffee table. It was the only antique item in our home. Jason would have preferred for us to get rid of it, but I wouldn't agree. It had been in my mother's family as far back as anyone could remember, and it was the only thing I had left of my own childhood. No, Sarah, we won't be moving into the house. Bunny doesn't want to leave the city either. I was enraged, totally nonplussed, and believe me, it takes a lot for me to lose my plussed. I generally have an answer for everything, but Jason's announcement had smacked the pithy comments right out of my mouth. As I sat there on that fake mid-century sofa, staring up into Jason's beautiful blue eyes, he struck the final blow. He pulled a folded wad of papers from the back pocket of his pants and dropped it on the trunk in front of me. I picked it up and smoothed it out carefully. It was the deed to our house, my dream house. Still angry, I finally found my voice and jumped up off the sofa. What is this, Jason? I shook the papers at him. What the hell is this? It's the deed to your house, he replied, still maddeningly calm. My house? Don't you mean our house? So much had happened in 30 short minutes that reality was beginning to fold back on itself. No, I mean your house. I bought it for you. Well, I don't want it, I cried at him. Then sell it or give it away. I don't care. It's yours to do with whatever you want. He crossed to the door and picked up his backpack, obviously packed earlier, maybe last night. How could I have possibly missed a fully loaded backpack sitting against the wall? I've already given notice on the apartment, he said. You have about 2 weeks. Take what you want and leave the rest. Wow, Jason, you've been planning this for a while. This time I didn't scream at him. I used my indoor voice. He opened the door to leave and turned back for a moment. I know you don't believe me now, Sarah, but someday, soon I hope, you're going to see that this is the best thing for both of us. I couldn't resist a parting shot. Go ahead, take your dumb bunny and fade into Bolivian. I hope she has a litter of 12. After staring at the closed door for a long beat, I sat back down on the ugly sofa, which I'd secretly detested from the day it rolled up on the IKEA delivery truck. Outside of calling the super to come drag the offending thing to the dumpster, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do next. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Leave a comment. Does it sound interesting? Is it too trite? Is it too formulaic? Is it too derivative? Is it intriguing? Do you want to know what happens next? Do you want to know more about the trunk? Do you want to know more about Bunny and the upcoming bundle or bundles of joy that are on their way? Have I left you with the desire to turn the page and find out what's next? Because that is the whole point of a novel. You want your readers to want to know what happens next. So come back at me with your comments. Do not be afraid to be brutal. Be as brutal as you want to be. Brutality is a blessing coming from editors, whether they are, professional editors or the guy on the street who reads your first draft and, redlines everything that bugged him. So there you go. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day or evening whenever you see this. And I am going to go into my living room, sit down in front of my fire, and figure out what I'm going to write next. Bye-bye.